like.
Hi, welcome to Mayer Theater, home of the Theater and Dance Department at Santa Clara University. When you first enter the building, you'll enter into the office hallway. Most of the faculty have their offices here. One of the fine features of the hallway is that we have a couple of photos from every show that we've done here dating back to 1979, almost 40 years. Or a little over 40 years. Anyway, my history dates back far enough to all of these photos, so I've been here for every show that's in here. Over in this section here, we have a bulletin board with all of the majors and minors photos, which is really helpful for us getting to know and recognize who the various students are. Anyway, as you walk down this area, you come to what I think is the best room in the building. This is our green room. We're really blessed to have a room that's this nice. It's a very comfortable place for the students to hang out between classes, and especially during shows when they're not needed on stage. Quite often you'll find faculty and students sitting in here together eating lunch every day. Being that the green room is right off the office hallway, they're poking their heads in here constantly, and I have the opportunity to spend a little one-on-one time for a minute here, a minute there, a couple minutes throughout the day, giving us a chance to get to know the students quite well. It's really quite a comfortable room, a little kitchenette, green room, kitchenette for the green room, which has a microwave, refrigerator, sink. On the wall you'll see a big mirror that originally was from a theater called The Ship that was in the parking lot next door to where the building, the Mayer Theater is now. So that dates back about 50 to 60 years, maybe even longer. I'm not sure exactly how old the mirror itself is. The Ship was built in the early 1900s, I believe, so it could date back as far as that. The wall sconces on either side of the mirror are also from that Ship. They were on the exterior of the building. The Lifeboat was the theater that happened between the Ship and Mayer Theater. It was an old Quonset hut that had been converted to a theater, a temporary theater, over across campus until this building was built after the Ship had been torn down. Turned out they were in there for about 12 years, I believe, something like that, in the early 60s to mid 70s. This building was built in 1975, so it's now 45 years old. Anyway, it's quite a nice space. This hallway leads to the stage and other production areas. All of our students are given a mailbox here, which they're free to use or not use, as the case may be. A lot of students use it just to store things or to pass things back and forth to each other, scripts and whatnot, books, whatever it is they might need. Call board here. Door. This is our main stage theater. The theater seats 500 people in here when all the seats are in, but it's a very flexible theater in several ways. First of all, you can change the size of the proscenium arch by sliding these panels back and forth, either closing it down to about 32 feet or opening it all the way up to about 54 feet. Another thing that allows us to change the configuration in here is that we have two elevators, an orchestra pit elevator and a thrust elevator, both of which can come up. And we also have two VOMs that are covered by seats right at the moment. So if you were to remove all of these seats over the lifts and the VOMs, raise them up, we lose about 150 seats that way, so it drops the capacity down to about 300, well, it's actually about 380, I guess. But it completely changes the nature of the performance space in here. So it transforms it from more or less standard proscenium theater to a thrust stage with two VOMs. The performance space itself is a good size for the kind of work that we do. Gives us lots of flexibility in what we're able to do. The theater is not as high as we would like, but then that's traditional in a lot of universities' theaters. They don't have the fly space that you would like, but we still have a fairly generous amount here. On this stage, we do 3 department productions, 1 each quarter. Typically 2 plays and then 1 big musical. Often we'll do a Shakespeare at least every other year, if not every year. And it's the same with musical. We try to do that every year. If not a big musical here, then we'll do a small musical in our studio theater. These 2 big sliding doors right here open up and give us access from the scene shop, which is on the left, to the main stage on the right. This is a scene shop where all the scenery for the shows are built. Everything is supervised by the faculty or staff, but most of the work is done by the students. About half the students in here are paid to be in here and work. It's their campus job. The other half of the students that are in here are doing it for class credit. The students that are in here for class credit, it's in a class called Production Workshop. They can work either in this shop, or they can work in the costume shop, or they can split it up so they do half the quarter in one shop, half the quarter in the other shop. The other option for Production Workshop is to run crew for a show instead of working in one of the shops. But typically they work an hour or 2 a week. I don't know exactly what the number is, but they work, a couple hours a week in here for the quarter as part of their obligation. These sliding doors here give us access from the scene shop into our studio theater, where we'll end up in just a minute. But first we're going to go visit the rehearsal hall. So this is our rehearsal hall. It's a very nice space. It's got way more rehearsal furniture than anybody has a right to own, but we have tons of it, and that works out well. All of the classes that require any sort of movement are held in here. We don't usually do too many lecture classes in here, but occasionally. We also have some dance bars in here, so that if we needed to do a dance class in here, we could. But also when we're doing musicals, when we're rehearsing musicals, it gives dancers dance bars to use for warming up. Typically, our main stage shows will rehearse in here about 5 weeks before they move onto the main stage. For tech rehearsals and then performances. During the day, though, it's used for classes. This is our studio theater, or black box theater. Typically, the shows that we do in this space are senior-directed one-act plays, senior dance recitals, stage play readings, in this case called Playwrights Festival, and odds and ends of other smaller productions like that. We do 1 department production in here each spring, where we will take the seating and move it around to accommodate whatever the shape of the set is. Sometimes we'll do it in a U shape, sometimes in a round, sometimes an L. Whatever their set requires and what the designers and directors want. The rest of the year it's set up like this, primarily to accommodate the dance recitals that we do each quarter. We allow 1 weekend each quarter for up to 4 senior dance recitals and another weekend up to 4 senior directed one-act plays. We don't usually have all 4 each quarter. It just depends on how many students are doing it in any given quarter or any given year. Nice feature about this that you don't normally see in black box theaters is it has catwalks surrounding the edge of the room here. The nice thing about that too is the fact that the catwalks here, you can see where it's overhanging, that section of catwalk actually rolls all the way across the room, as does the section further down, allowing the lights to be hung very easily by one person with no ladders, lifts, anything like that. We have in fact used that upper space as part of the playing area in shows that we've done. One case we used that upper walkway area as a prison guard, walk around with facade of cells painted onto the walls. Another time we built stairs up to there and did scenes up there that took place in the attic of a house. that sort of thing. We don't do that too often, but once in a while we will. This space seats 88 the way it is now. When we turn it around for department productions, it's usually anywhere from the 100 to 120 range. When we come down here, you'll see the other end of the green room, which is here. This is our makeup room. It's a very nice size for what we typically do here. Sometimes it's a little lonely when we're doing a small cast show, but it can often get filled up when we're doing a big musical. The bombs I mentioned that come from the main stage when they're in use, one of them comes in right here. And then the other one is right here. So if we open up these doors and go in, we'll see a ramp that heads up to the seating area that's covered over right at the moment. The restrooms, here we have restrooms, we have locker rooms, and we have showers so for the students to use as they would need to. We have a full basement below the stage. This ramp goes down primarily to the costume storage area, and the ramp allows us to load up costumes on racks down there and then roll them up the ramp up to this level, right up to where the costume shop is. Turn on the other lights. Obviously the costume shop. In both shops, they operate typically from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 5 o'clock, and in any given day there'll be anywhere from 2 to 6 students working. Just depends on the day. Usually they're not working all 4 hours. They usually put in 2 to 3 hours each day, and they kind of come and go within the 1 to 5 time frame. Most of the shows here, most of the costumes that are done here are pulled from stock. Some are built from scratch, a lot built from scratch, a lot pulled from stock, and some are borrowed from other theaters, some are off the shelf if it's a modern day piece. But regardless of what show we're doing, the costume shop is always busy either altering, mending, doing something to the costumes to fit the cast. Coming back up here, we end up back in the hallway where we started. And if we come out this door over here, straight across from us is the dance half of our department through these doors here. As we enter these doors, we're going into the dance portion of this building. This is music and dance building. This half of the ground floor is all dance. The other half of the ground floor is music, and then all of the upstairs is music as well. This is the larger of the 2 dance studios. It's a good size for pretty much all of our classes, but it can get a little crowded when you're doing a big class with 40 students and you're all moving at the same time. Nice feature in this space is that the dark gray floor that you see here is the exact same amount of space they have on the main stage when they're performing. So when they're rehearsing in here all quarter long prior to moving on stage for tech and dress rehearsals, they know exactly how much space they have with literally exactly the same amount of space. I've even taped out where the draperies are in the black tape here on the floor. Also, we have a video rack over here in this little alcove that allows us to record and playback music in the room. We have a camera on the far wall by the clock, and then also over on the side over here that allows us, the choreographers, to record their rehearsals in here and then either immediately play them back on the monitor for the dancers to give notes, or they can save the file onto a flash drive, take it home, review it, make notes, and then talk to the dancers later on, or make whatever changes they think they need to make. But it's a very nice feature and a very handy thing for the choreographers to be able to do. All our theater majors are given access through the University ID card that gets them into the dance studios and in the Mayer Theater. This is the smaller of the two dance studios. The only class that's regularly held in here, I think, is the Pilates mat class, as well as the choreography class itself. Mostly it's just used for small group work, rehearsals and whatnot. Most of the classes are held in the main stage. But this does have all of the same features as the big dance studio. It has a video rack and the cameras, and the choreographers or students, faculty, whoever needs to, can record the dances and then play them back or save them for review later on. In the lobby here, we have the far door is faculty dressing room, bathrooms, whatnot. This room here is the men's restroom, locker room, showers, and then around the corner down here is the women's restroom, locker rooms, and showers. Our ballet instructor is a certified Pilates instructor, and all of our students are able to sign up for one-on-one time with her in this room here where we have the Pilates equipment. So the students are able to come in, work with her for half hour, an hour, whatever it is, and do stretching exercises, core strength training, that sort of thing. And then we also, as I said, have a group Pilates mat class in the small dance studio. That's pretty much it. If you ever have any questions about the theater or the dance areas, please feel free to call the department and ask away. Also, any of our faculty and staff will be happy to talk to you either on phone or exchange emails with you. You can find biographies of all of our faculty and staff on the webpage. Gives you a sense of what they do here as well as what they do outside of the department. A lot of our staff and faculty are professionals who work outside in theaters around the Bay Area. Either in acting, in tech work, design, dance, and choreography, so you get a sense of what they do there. Anyway, so feel free to look up all of our faculty on the webpage, and then also call the department office if you have any other questions. That's it. I hope you enjoyed your tour.